When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers! Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and if number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, it's Friday. I had to think about that a minute. It's Friday, and it's my very, very, very last show on Blog Talk Radio between now and January 9th. So I want to remind a bunch of people about a bunch of different announcements because it's the last time that I literally can be on radio. So I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm frustrated. If you guys have all been watching my progress, you already know I have 5,000 projects going on. I need to slow down because of my health a little bit, so that's obviously why after today we're going to take a nice 3-week hiatus. My show comes back on the air January 9th. I just wanted to remind everybody of that, so A, you don't tune in thinking that I'm listening. I already can't talk. January, according to my calendar, obviously from the 3rd to the 7th, I'll be in New York City. If you guys are there, please come out and see me. Please come out and check out the festival wrap-up party if you can. Back on the 9th, 1:30 Central Standard Time, Eric Heckler is going to be coming on the show. He is the actual director and producer of the movie American Splenda, which we showed at Art is Alive Film Festival this last year. So 1:30 Central Standard Time, January 9th. Please do tune in and listen in. Speaking of the festival, to anybody that may not have seen this yet, to any filmmaker that is out there that is either a friend of mine or you have friends in the indie circuit, between now and Christmas Day evening, I am charging a total of $15 versus the $25 for submission rate, which means that as long as you go onto my website, artisalivefilmfestival.yolasite.com, there is a section for film submissions, in which case then you can go ahead and submit a total of, well, as many films as you want, up to the point of 75. I currently have room for 60 more filmmakers. Click on the submission fee area, pay your fee, submit your film, whether it's a film or a screenplay, but after Christmas Day is complete and finished, no more submissions. It goes back up to $25 up until, I want to say, February or March, and then, of course, obviously, we have our regular deadlines. Reminder to everybody, the film festival itself is August 16th to the 19th of 2018. Location to be determined. If I have my way at the rooftop, been told it might rain, so maybe not. We're doing some alterations this year, so stay tuned for that. Again, Art is Alive filmfestival.yolasite.com, Art is Alive Film Festival on Facebook. Big reminder, because it's going up today, 2 things for sale. In case you haven't bought my son's comic book, what the hell's wrong with you? Just kidding. Go out and buy it anyways. Why? Because we need 3,500 people buy it. Sergeant Seizure and the Evil Dr. Cuckoo on Facebook. Go on that page. You can automatically find the website. Click on it. Purchase it. $15. We can fund a clinical trial up to 3,500 people buy it. That's why it's important. Saving lives, stopping seizures. 2 good reasons to buy. Second of all, as it relates to my calendar, I'm officially releasing it today. I'll have a huge post on Facebook as well as on the Facebook page itself, which is Art is Alive, the Magic of Indie Movies. It is a combination of the festival sponsors. It's a little write-up on the festival founder. Little old me will be on the front cover. Yay, said nobody ever because I don't like attention. And then, of course, all of the finalists and the winners for the Art is Alive Film Festival this year in 2017. It's a whopping total of $15. The cool part about this is after the first 2,000 sales, I'm able to give back $3,500 to the filmmakers. And why? Because they're indie and they're broke. So the reality is if you want to make a movie, you got to have money. So help me, help them, help me keep indie art is alive. And go purchase your calendar. Again, it's Art is Alive, the Magic of Indie Movies, in addition to which you're helping to fund my movie. So I don't want to forget to mention, Love's Two-Way Mirror is the name of the film. It's on Facebook. I haven't created a website as of yet, but I'm working on it, so check out for details on that one. Again, go ahead and just check out the page, Love's Two-Way Mirror. I have cast for New York City. I have cast for L.A. right now. The only other thing that I have left is just I want to say music is probably the only thing. I need about 3 more compositions, maybe 4. Otherwise, we're all set and ready to roll, so I'm super excited about it. Again, Love's Two-Way Mirror. Go ahead and check it out. I think that's everything I can think of. Oh, yes, real quickly before we get Michael on the line. Number 1, the magazine is being pushed back. Celebrity Creatives Magazine is my creation, and it's going to be a culmination of everything I love, which is independent film, independent authors. We're going to be having musicians. We're going to have a column for my son to put his comics. We're going to have an area for lifestyle, meaning great places to go, food, wine, you name it. We're going to have an area for celebrity contributions. We'll have an area for bikers. There's pretty much no area I haven't covered. So please make it a point to go ahead and check that out. Celebrity Creatives Magazine, that'll be coming in probably springtime of next year. Festival, August 16th to 19th. Obviously, of course, my book, I don't even know what's happening with that. We won't even go there right now. Too many projects, too little time. We'll just go from there. So before I forget, let's get on to our interview because he is the big deal of the day. Michael?
Hello! Yay!
Oh, my God! You're here. We're live together. Oh, my God, you're all the way across the world, right?
I know. Yeah. Austria, Europe.
Oh, my God. It's so cool that you can be all the way over there and, like, totally be on this show right now. I'm so excited. I feel like I'm right next to him. I have a lot of questions, but first I want to tell everybody how we met, obviously. Michael and myself both actually were invited to the Fantastic Four Film Festival, which is in San Diego, California. And at that particular time, I had been a panelist for that particular festival that year, and I know that they have been high on acknowledging Michael over the years. And so, first of all, we should probably talk about that. Did you go to last year's festival, or were you unable to go last year?
Unfortunately, I couldn't. I had a film premiere in London, so I just picked that.
I gotcha, which makes perfect sense. So you're a better judge of this because you've been there more years than I have. So talk to the folks a little bit about the Fantastic Horror Film Festival and how you initially got involved with it, because I know you've been a celebrity judge for them as well.
Yeah. How I initially got involved, I just was asked. You know, like when they made their very first festival, like now 4 years back or so, I just offered them to interview them from a website because I do my website searchmytrash.com. I basically I cover all things horror and indie horror, and so. So when I heard about this new festival, I just said, hey, let's do an interview to promote it, and somehow that then evolved into me being a celebrity judge now, the third year in a row. So.
Which is so cool because some of the films there I'd never seen before, and folks, I'm telling you, they get international submissions all the time. So people like you live in Michael's area and other places out of the country, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's a really, really, really international film festival. I don't know. We've like also submissions from India, from all over Europe and Asia and whatnot. You know, and that's so cool about this festival. It's not like you know, it's this little festival in San Diego that only has San Diego submissions, but like from everywhere. And I think that's totally mirrored. Yeah. Oh,
I agree with you. And what's cool about this is that the two people that started the film festival initially are fans.
Yeah.
They're not, you know, independent filmmakers. They're not people that have had a festival for a lot of years. So they kind of built it from the ground up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And they're great people too. So I really love.
And it's a nice forum.
Absolutely. Really
I
a great
agree.
time.
So there you go, folks. And it always happens right around Halloween every year. So if anybody is in San Diego, California, all you have to do is Google it in or type in FAN, F-A-N, capital letters, Fantastic Horror Film Festival, and then you'll come up with the dates. You can see all the people that are showcasing films, etc. It's exciting, and I've met some great people. I mean, Michael and I have networked together. Matthew Roca, who was the director that I met there, Matt Jason, obviously. So it's great networking. I mean, it's totally awesome.
Totally. I love it. And I've met many great contacts, you included, you know?
Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Now, if you're listening to Michael, you have to tell people about this because the accent. Now, is it only because of the fact that you're international, so for where you come from? Because I've never heard your type of accent from someone else. Like when I talk to you, I'm like, I could listen to him all day, right? Do people tell you that all the time, like you sound funny?
Well, I probably sound funny because English isn't my first language, you know. So I don't think I've got an Austrian accent, but I have to have some accent. I mean, because you know, I meet people from all over the board of like like English speakers. Like my brother-in-law is Australian. I don't think I sound Australian, but he is, and I make movies in England, but usually with like American guest stars. So, and I always get like when I write in my screenplays, oh, that sounds too American, or that sounds too English, and I'm like, how am I supposed to know?
Well, you do sound different in a good way, though. I mean, it's nice to listen to. In fact,
Thank you.
I wanted to mention this to you because you're in Austria. I've never been. Not only have I never been before, I've never visited before, but the culture there in terms of making film and art and things like that. How culturally diverse is it? Meaning that do you have a strong following there as far as independent film? Because I don't really know anything about the country itself.
Yeah. I think we might have an independent film community in Austria, but I haven't found it in Austria. That's so weird. I mean, I've no problems like connecting to like British filmmakers, American filmmakers, but I hardly know anyone in Austria. So I really I'm the worst person to ask that, believe it or not.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I always tend to ask interesting questions because we want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're calling me from Austria. I don't live there. I have no idea what the culture's like. What kind of place is Austria?
Well, we've got many mountains, so that's one thing about that everybody knows. But I mean, Vienna is not in the mountains,
right?
Where I live, and it's a nice, quiet city, you know. It's really, really nice to live there when you not want to party all night. When
I got you.
It's
okay.
Perfect to live, but it's not London, New York, or L.A. or Paris. But it's nice. It's nice. It's very safe. You can really go home alone at night. So I love it here. I love it here, but I always have to go somewhere else to make movies because, yeah, I can't get any Austrian filmmakers for reasons I don't know. As I said, I've made all my movies in the UK. I have no problem like connect with people there, just not here.
I get it. Okay, I see.
I'm not really complaining though, because like the contacts I've made filming in the UK, that's really almost as great, maybe even better, you know.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. I do. In fact, now I have to ask the question because maybe I'm stupid about this, but I would imagine that Austria has beautiful landscapes and places by which you should film there. I mean, does that seem unintelligent to ask that? I mean.
No. That's absolutely true. It does have beautiful landscapes.
Okay.
It looks absolutely stunning. Some of the landscapes, it's really great. And I hope to film here someday. You know.
God, I hope so. I just think it's a great idea. I really do. Just because where you're located. And you've been living there, and you live there, so obviously you don't have to travel anywhere to go as far as that goes. So, yeah, without a doubt. Now, I want to ask a question about your what I feel is a fascination with the horror genre, because I won't lie to you. When I sit in this house, because I live close to the river, so I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I turn on a horror film, I'm scared shitless. I won't lie. I mean, it petrifies. Some of the films I watch petrify me. Yours did not, mind you, because there's a comedic take on it. But talk to me a bit about your appreciation for the horror genre. Why horror? What fascinates you, or what is it that gets your gears going about horror to where you keep gravitating to doing horror films?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I think it has to do like with some not daily experiences. You know, it's so far out there. It's like this horror as such. It's this anything can happen world, and it's it's cruel, it's crude, you have like this limitless possibilities, and you can think up some sick shit and still get away with it without being an evil person, you know. I mean,
oh no, I do. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I think that's a fascination both in watching and in thinking stuff up. I mean, I wouldn't. I would probably most horror stuff that I write. I wouldn't. You know, you wouldn't do in real life, of course. So
I get that.
But you know, being the little evil Mike for a minute, that's fun. That's fun. just to think up, how can we, torture this person and kill that one, and what good ways are there of beheading? That's kind of. I mean, these thoughts are wrong in a way, but to be able to think them up without consequences, that's fun. Other than that, it's fun.
Oh my God! Now, in your experience through the years, obviously, I would assume that there are some horror giants or legends out there that have kind of influenced your work to some degree. Would you share with us just a bit of who are some of your favorites, and then talk a bit about the genre itself? I've noticed, like way back in the days of Halloween, let's say, for instance, when they did the original Halloween movie. You know, things were more simplistic in terms of horror, whereas now we seem to have moved to not only more of a graphic generation, but there's more to the, I feel like it's more the gore factor instead of the scare factor. Do you know what I mean? It just seems like things are a lot more graphically intense.
You're absolutely right there, and I'm not really into the gore side of things. I mean, there's some good gore movies out there. But it's just sometimes it gets so just overloaded. Just go for the gore's sake, and I'm not interested in that. So I think the horror filmmaker that I have the most respect for is like Dario Argento. He's an Italian filmmaker who's make these incredibly stylish movies. They just look like a composition in pictures and sounds, and they're also creepy as hell, but not like on this cheap like gore for gore's sake, as I said, but they have like this elegance to them. That's one who really inspires me. Though I'm not a very visual person, I have to admit. But when I'm writing, I'm much more into dialogue. But I just love his visuals. On the other hand, mostly his scripts are not very good. So that's a weird thing. Another, well, and if you're into gore, I think nothing goes beyond Herschel Gordon Lewis, who made the earliest gore movies like Blood Feast or 2,000 Maniacs, sorry, and The Wizard of Gore and the Gore Girls, and because he really pushed the gore for gore's sake to such an extent that it became totally grotesque, and that again is fun then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's often it's like a very sick joke, but with the emphasis on joke. And
gotcha.
So
well,
go on.
I looked at you the other day, and I wanted to ask you this question. And, folks, if you've ever looked at his picture, like his public picture, like if you Google him or if you see him on Facebook, you bear a small resemblance. You remind me a lot of Rob Zombie. Have other people told you that?
No, I actually have not been told that, I have to admit. No.
Really? Seriously?
Interesting, yeah. Well, I mean, I make grimaces on these photos. You know, I'm not. it's not me. I'm just trying to be. I don't know. I try to be funny, I guess.
Well, I've seen him perform. I've obviously seen some of his films. I did see him perform by accident. I was working at a rock concert thing, and he was there. I didn't get to see him in person, but I heard him from, a ways away. He's a great musician. Right. In some ways, I prefer the music side of him to the film side. I think he's a little too gory. But, your physical makeup is kind of like his, I think. That's a bragging point, my friend. Use it. I was told today by a journalist I look like Rob Zombie. That's great point.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
That is really, really cool. I do. I think that's cool. But I wanted to share that with you, obviously.
Okay.
Now,
cool.
I want to talk about your experience because you've had experiences in a number of areas. So people that are listening in who maybe have never done a film before, never wrote a screenplay before, never wrote a book before, talk a bit about your past experience, meaning your actual formal education. Were you trained or were you schooled in either filmmaking or journalism or writing? Talk a bit about your background educationally.
Actually, I wasn't trained in any of this.
Okay. Life experience.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, I started writing like my own stories at a very early age. I think as soon as I knew all the alphabet and knew how to put sentences together, I started just put down my imagination on paper. Pretty much. I mean, early stories are probably total shit from today's point of view, but it was just in me. I just always wanted to write like fiction. Okay. So I don't know how much I've written that has never been seen by anybody, but it was just in me. However pretentious it sounds, but I just did it, and I hope I got better over the years.
Oh, sure. No, I know what you mean. Now, I want to ask about that more specifically because a lot of times when I interview people on my show, they come from, like, they've gone to Columbia University or they've done some extensive education. Do you think at this stage in your career you'll ever go back to maybe just taking educational courses, like in terms of the film side of things, or maybe even us writers sometimes always need sharpening skills as far as that goes? Are there programs available for you where you are? Because, again, I'm not from Austria, but do they offer things like that for the artists so that they can kind of get sharper at their craft?
I'm not sure, but I don't think so, actually.
Really?
I mean, the thing is in Austria, maybe that's also the reason why I don't know any Austrian filmmakers. Making movies, that's not something you do. It seems much more natural anywhere else I go. That people say, all right, let's make movies. But in Austria, everybody says, that's not something you do. Get a job, hippie, and I mean, in Austria, everybody thinks if you want to make movies, you have to go to the national television station and get a job there, and then grow into it. Pretty much. That's what I heard all my life, and my thought was always, well, I want to make like bizarre comedies and horror comedies. I don't think they want this on our television station, So, and I mean, for the longest time, Austria only had one national television station. That's only diversified 10 years or so ago that we now have privately owned television stations. But like for the longest time, it was only state-run television or television from other countries. So that was our film world, which is only now diversifying.
Okay. So, now it makes sense. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because a lot of times people come on my show and they're like you, where life experiences have taught them certain things, and they've kind of paved their own way in terms of street successes, what we call it here in the States, obviously. So here's a piggyback question on that. because making art in film is different than making art in terms of in a book, etc. So let's backtrack a little bit and talk about your book, because first of all, I don't know how to pronounce that title. I can't even go there. So you have to say the name of your book, because I don't even know how to say it. I'm not going to pretend to. I don't have a clue. Help me out.
It's all right. It's called Bauliche Angelegenheiten, and
which stands for?
It's pretty much translated. It's constructural affairs. So it's like I think intentionally a bit of a boring title that reads like a manual about buildings, because the whole reason for this is it's like about a really boring public servant who works in the department for constructural affairs, and nobody really cares about him anyways. And but he's one of two people who notices that the world is disappearing. All the world is disappearing, little by little. Mm-hmm. And so like one day you walk down the street, you notice a house is gone, but everybody's too busy to notice that, and it's summer holidays, so people are abroad and blah blah, so nobody's really taking care, and he's one of two people, as I said, and the other person is the woman of his dreams. And then they meet in real life, and she couldn't be less interested in him. But only,
oh my goodness, okay.
Only, yeah, but because they are the only two who notice what's going on, they just try to figure it out together. So they team up. However, unwillingly on her side. And yes,
I have a question in terms of technique, only because obviously I've done a few books myself, and I'm always curious to ask other authors this, because like I said, you don't come from formal training and things like that. When you decided that you wanted to write this book, we want to talk a bit about technique, because most people that listen into my show are either thinking about it or maybe have done it. I'm just curious to ask you, how long did it take you to compose the material, and more importantly, I'm always asking people about this. I'm like that damn writer's block, because it happens to me like every 2 days. I'm like, I'm on a good roll, and oh yeah, damn, I don't have a thought, and I want to throw my pen across the room, which happens a lot. So talk a bit about the technique in terms of how long did it take to put together, and how well received was it? Because there's a difference between world acceptance, meaning internationally, versus bringing it to the States, right? Because marketing is different, I assume, etc.
Yeah. How long did it take me to conceive? Maybe all in all, half a year, like from initial idea and then to think up the whole plot. And I only always start to write once I've got like the basic structure in my head and know it by heart. So that's also what I think helps me over writing block. Because once you've got everything like really in your head, not on paper, but in your head, you know exactly what's going on. Then you can just build on this skeleton, flesh it out.
Right.
So for me that works best. I can't say if it works great for other people. Mm-hmm. But for me, that's...
I'm sorry.
No. Go on.
I was just going to mention that this wasn't... I was really surprised, actually, recently, that you had contributed to part of a sci-fi anthology. Not that I wasn't surprised by the sci-fi thing, obviously, because that's along your genre. Yeah. But you had contributed something called... It's Robomancer, which I love the title of that. I'm like, that's so funny. It's a short story, and I'm like, oh, my God, that is so cool, that title. Did they approach you about being part of their anthology? Because it's a writers group, right, that published an anthology. And so I was curious about that. I'm like, sci-fi is like horror, but it's not horror. So I imagine that's a bit of a stretch for you.
Sci-fi wasn't too much of a stretch. No, I think especially the story I wrote. It's like it could be viewed as horror in the broader sense. It's just got evil robots and stuff. So, but actually, I've been with this group a while, and the first story they asked me about was like a contribution to a romance anthology, and romance was really far away from me, and I was almost giving up, and then I had this really bizarre idea about it's a story about a shrunken head, actually, so a romance story about a shrunken head. So and I thought, okay, I'll write the story, but then they'll probably never talk to me again. But which would have hurt because I like these people, you know. But I thought, okay, I'll just try at least, you know. It's better to try and fail than not try at all. And but they actually published that story, so and said, "Wow, this is so good."
Listen to him; he acts like he's shocked. Like he sounds so shocked. Like they actually published it. Like he never wrote anything a day in his life. You're killing me right now. Oh my God!
I mean, it was so much fun, and then they just asked me to stick with them. So I think it's now the fifth or sixth anthology I've contributed to by them.
Nice.
I should quickly say it's Writers, Poets, and Deviants, WPAD, and our new anthology is called Strange Adventures in the Deviant Universe. And yeah, my story is called Robomancer. Okay. And actually, the title and my name made the title page, so I'm a bit flattered about that.
Well, and my question is, if people are listening in today, is there a way for them to access? It's called Strange Adventures in a Deviant Universe. Can they get a copy of the anthology? Is it available yet? Is there a place to find it?
It is. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
And probably most other places you would expect to get it from.
That's what I thought. Okay, I just want to double check.
Yeah, and it's out in print as well as ebook, so you have no excuse not to read it.
That's awesome. Now, I just found out this recently because I didn't know this about my dear friend Michael, that apparently he actually acted in a production that he's part of, meaning Espresso to Die For. He actually acted in this. So I want to ask you a question about that. You acting, maybe it's me, but I almost think you're almost too shy to do that. Is it me? Because I'm like, I can't picture that.
I have to admit I was scared shitless. It's like... But I thought, I mean, this was a movie. We had on two big horror names like Lynn Lowry and Deborah Lamb, and I thought,
yes. Uh-oh. Why do I have a feeling that dead silence means, oh, no, my call has gotten dropped. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, don't leave us, guys. My guess is that Michael's call just accidentally dropped, and hopefully with any luck at all, he'll be calling back in just a second. In case you guys, by some chance, do not know how to get a hold of him or see him, at the bare minimum, obviously he's in Austria, but that doesn't mean you can't see some of his material. First of all, I was fortunate enough to be able to screen his film at the Art is Alive Film Festival, and we have yet to talk about this. Talk of the Dead was a 15-minute short film that he actually did that he has now submitted to last year's film festival. This year, he actually submitted the one that's been doing some rave reviews across town, of course. Impressions Can Kill. I'm really excited to see it, actually, along myself and my other judges. So I'm super, super stoked to be able to see if we can go ahead and get his film into our new festival. Oh, he's back now. So without further ado, let's get back to talking to him. Here I am waiting for an answer, and I'm like, he's gone. What happened?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It just
That's okay.
Just broke down. So yeah,
it happened. Okay, so you were talking about acting. That's where we were at.
Oh yeah. I thought, I mean, I've got like in this movie, I've got like Lynn Laurie and Deborah Lamb, both known names on the indie horror scene, and I was like,
okay,
I would be mad not to appear in that movie next to them,
sense.
I mean, it's like, I mean, in a way, it's especially as a writer, you have to sell yourself, because otherwise nobody knows who or what you are. So right. I figure I just want to, I'll never be an actor, like a real actor, but appearing in my own movies in small roles, I think I can do that.
Well, without a doubt. I think that, like, Spider-Man, right? The man who created Stan Lee, he does his cameo in every one of his films.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly. Oh, I got to ask you that. Stephen King question. I have to ask if you saw the new It. I've been asking people that. Like, did you see Star Wars? Did you see the new It? Have you seen either or yet?
What is Star Wars or what? The new It. Oh, no.
The new Star Wars movie?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No.
Me neither. Okay, so you can't give me feedback on that. Did you see the new It? They did a revision of Stephen King's film.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen that one either. So.
Oh my gosh, that's a horror movie. Now I'm disappointed, Michael.
I know. It was such a letdown. I'm sorry. I
no,
need
that's
your show
okay.
right
You're
now.
busy making films. I get it. The guy's making films. He doesn't have time to see films. I understand completely. I do.
Exactly.
I want you to talk a little bit about, and this is more so for people that aren't familiar with you, because I know that you've been a producer. I know that you've obviously been a writer for some time, among other things. But one of your titles that you hold is called Film Historian, and I found that an interesting title to hold. First of all, I don't have that title. Second of all, I rarely get to interview a quote-unquote film historian. So what does a film historian do, or what do you know, or what's your special Batman quality? Because I'm like, hey, that must be cool to be a historian. What the heck is that?
I might have been full of myself when I wrote Film Historian. I didn't know, but
well,
I mean, what I did on my website when I still had more time to do it was like compile biographies of genre stars and maybe overlooked actors and directors and stuff. So and I also, a historian of course needs a big library. I have that, so and so basically, when I started out on my website, and back when nobody knew who I was at all, not that too many people know now, but anyways, but when I started out, I wasn't really interviewing people, because who would come to me for an interview, Back in the day, that was like 12 or 13 years ago. So so I pretty much wrote much more about movies from previous decades, going back to the silent era. So I wanted to cover the indie movies more on a historical level. And only in recent years I've got like more and more like this new indie movies, and got into interviewing all these people. So it's just a trajectory that has changed.
Gotcha. I get it. I do. Yeah. Also, the other thing is, when it comes to, I want to talk more type specific in terms of, people don't always realize, because they don't ever get to a movie set, let alone a TV set and otherwise, because a lot of times they interview actors, producers, directors. So, for instance, in this particular case, when you're shooting a movie, for instance, I want you to take people in, because a lot of people are huge fans of horror, but what they don't realize is oftentimes what we're most afraid of is something that's so generic and so simple, meaning like I had no idea of all the special effects that go into making horror movies. So I want to ask you, when you decide to create something like a horror project, and you have to make it so holistic, what is the biggest challenge in trying to make it so realistic? Meaning, because obviously we all know that the blood, well, at least I hope most of you, it's not a spoiler alert that the blood on a horror film isn't real. I'm just going to say that because I've seen it, so I know. But what is the challenge? How hard is it to get it to be realistic? You know what I mean? Like, because you want it as close to real life as possible, but, you know, I mean, some of this stuff, how do you do that? I mean, what's the trick of the trade there, if you will?
That's a kind of hard question, because, I mean, on one hand, good advice for indie filmmakers anyways, just write what you know you can do, what you can achieve. That's the first thing, because I mean, you can write a movie about flying zombies with I don't know, foxtails.
Right.
It won't be made. It won't be made because nobody can do it on a small budget, you know. So that's I think the basic trick you have to really know your constraints, because I mean everything goes in writing, but if you want to make something on a small budget, you have to think in terms of budget while writing. So make it simple enough. Then always hire somebody who knows makeup effects and special effects if needed.
That. Okay.
So don't think you can go to set and figure out how to do a flesh wound once you're there, but prepare beforehand and hire somebody. Might cost money. Well, it will cost money, but it's worth it.
Of course. And the other. Well, I have a piggyback question to that one, too, meaning when you're talking about limitations, if somebody comes to you and they have a great concept, but you just know it's not going to work, has that situation ever happened? Because I think we all have that movie dream in our head, like, oh, I have a great idea for a movie, let's plan this out. Have you ever come across somebody that just had this outlandish thought and you're like, there's just no way we can make this work no matter what? Is there ever that scenario, or are you a filmmaker that truly believes if you believe it, it will happen? If you dream it, it will come?
Well, since I'm only producing what I write myself, no. But I mean, I've got projects myself which I might not be doing because they are just too big. But I mean, you have to dream big, and sometimes you just have to write big things to get them out of the system. But basically, with projects you want to do, you have to remain realistic enough. And,
of course, definitely.
And yeah, especially if you like at the beginning of your career, you can't really expect big things to happen. I mean, my very first screenplay that did get filmed, A Killer Conversation, that was basically 3 people in a room. So that 3 people in a room, and they were just basically talking. And it wasn't a horror film. It wasn't a horror film. It was a very dark comedy because one of the people was a killer, the other was his intended victim, and the third person was the ex-girlfriend of the intended victim, who might not be totally adverse to the idea of him getting killed, you know. But it was like really easy to make. and we shot it in, I think, 3 days. So
wow, that's pretty incredible.
I know.
Holy mackerel.
It's a feature film, so
right.
It got released. So look out for A Killer Conversation. It's available on Amazon and probably many other online outlets. So
that's so exciting. Oh my God. Well, and the other thing too is what people don't realize is nowadays, obviously we've all heard about this big scandal going on in Hollywood, et cetera, and so us in the indie world, of course, I think are less affected in terms of like the sexual harassment claims, some of the things that are going on. But the hardest part about independent film isn't so much that you don't have nameless celebrities as much as I think it is. It comes down an awful lot to funding, because of most of us in the indie world, we can have tons of friends volunteer and favors, collected, et cetera. But you kind of have to have some game plan. I would think you'd agree with this. Talk a bit about in terms of, are you struggling, or has it become easier now that you've been in the circuit for a while in terms of getting financing or budgeting for making feature or short films?
It hasn't become easier yet, but I'm really hoping once we've got our next movie out there, There's No Such Thing as Zombies, which was like the biggest project we took on yet. Sorry. That it will have some kind of impact, that we can hopefully place it at Amazon Prime and Netflix and whatnot. So
right.
So that we can and will build on that. I mean, as of now, mostly I funded out of my own pockets or asked friends
right.
to contribute. But I think these wells have all dried out a bit for obvious reasons.
I agree. I do. I agree. And sadly, and it's tough. It's hard on filmmakers to be able to produce material. And oftentimes, people, you need to realize out there that it's not that simplistic. A lot of times it's people giving up. I know somebody who has given up a substantial amount just to make something that's a passion project. And I have a huge amount of respect for people that are willing to give up so much to do such grand things, obviously. We were talking about when you got cut off on the phone, Talk of the Dead, because I had mentioned to everybody I had my first Art is Alive Film Festival last year. Michael was my first submission last year. He's my first submission this year for my 2018 festival. How ironic. I haven't watched it yet. It's not time, but we'll see. But we want to talk about Talk of the Dead, because I'll give my interpretation of this, and I want you to talk about it, obviously, because it's your project. 3 of the reasons why Michael's film was accepted into our festival was because of 3 greatest attributes. First of all, it's comedic in a cute way, meaning that he takes a very interesting spin on zombies and he twists it around a little bit, and he makes it fun and interesting. It's not like The Walking Dead, as I call it. I'm not a Walking Dead fan. I hope that doesn't disappoint you, but I'm not. And so I'm like, okay, I saw this, and I'm like, it's a zombie movie, but it's cute. It has a very cute comedic spin on it. That was number 1. Second of all, it was very unique and unlike anything I had seen before in the genre. And for me, uniqueness is important. Why? Because if it's unique, you can market better and more easily. That's just my opinion as a filmmaker. And then third of all, what was most interesting about me was the writing. I'm always a big stickler for writing, and I wasn't the only judge, but I'm like, I always get stuck on a good story that has a great backstory to it and also incorporates good casting. In this case, I want to talk about 2 different things. Tell the folks a short summarization of Talk of the Dead. And then second of all, your choice of casting. Talk a bit about that, because I think it's intriguing and interesting how you came upon the cast you did.
First about Talk of the Dead, it's basically it's a news show where they discuss whether, well, it's a news show after the zombie outbreak. But they discuss whether the zombie outbreak is real or, as they call it, fake news, or and if they can talk about the zombie outbreak like a news story, or if they will anger their sponsors, and all of this stuff comes together in this newsroom, and then they got this CEO of the corporation, of the Troxadil Corporation, which is blamed for the zombie outbreak, and she's of course a total denier of zombies at all. So then they bring in an actual zombie, and chaos ensues from there, of course. So
of course it does.
So, but I try to make it as feeling real as a news show as possible.
Oh, definitely.
So with like commercial breaks, and the commercials have all like a zombie theme to them, and like they cut back to the newsroom too soon, or blah blah. So it should like feel like a real news show.
It was really cool, actually, and I of course had my favorite character in there, that the little old lady, and I can't remember her name, the woman that ends up coming on the news show, and she's older and snarky, and I can't remember her real name in real life, but she was a hoot. I absolutely love that character.
You mean Lynn Lowry?
Yes, I do. She's just a doll. Yeah. I absolutely love her.
Absolutely, yeah. She's also great to work with. I've like done 2 more movies with her since.
Oh my God, that's right. You had mentioned that.
And like in the last one, I've acted alongside her, which was totally not intimidating, of course, because she's like 40 years of experience. I've got none, so I mean, you know.
Listen to him. Oh my goodness. Now tell us how well the festival, in terms of you working the circuit and Talk of the Dead, how many laurels? How well have we done? Where are we at with that particular film in terms of the success? How things have gone?
Oh, it's gone very well, actually. So, I mean, last year at the Fantastic Film Festival, that was our first film festival at all. So that was actually the world premiere there, and I mean, we ended up with 8 awards at that festival alone. So,
nice.
And then, and I don't know. I think we played about 10 or 15 more festivals after that, and eventually we retired it because we made There's No Such Thing as Zombies, which we filmed this summer. We built around that footage. It's a whole other story, but it's pretty much set in the same world, and parts of the news show pop up like during the film. So Talk of the Dead was basically was to promote There's No Such Thing as Zombies, to like really get people interested and get them, you know, to give us money and stuff. So,
well, my other question is Talk of the Dead distributed? Meaning, like, if we live in the United States, we can go to Amazon or Google or someplace to watch it? Because obviously I've seen it a number of times. But those that are listening, and if they want to see it, do they have the ability to do so?
Not yet. We're pretty much at the moment we're holding it back a bit because we want to use it to then advertise the release of There's No Such Thing as Zombies. So we want to make Talk of the Dead very accessible. So people can really see it and say, oh, that's actually really nice. I want to see more. Well, hopefully, you know.
Sure.
Hopefully. So
I understand.
And at the moment There's No Such Thing as Zombies still in post-production, but we hope to have it finished like early next year. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it's not far down the pike in terms of that.
Yeah.
Now, because you've prefaced it, you have to talk about this, obviously, because I'm sure most folks are not familiar with There Is No Such Thing as Zombies. First of all, it was shot in London, which I think is so badass. I'm like, I've never been to London either. I'm like, man, he gets to go to cool places. I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk to your folks and your listening audience about that, because that's kind of the precursor, as you're mentioning, to Talk of the Dead. So tell us where There Is No Such Thing as Zombies came from in your head, obviously, and what is unique and special about that versus Talking the Dead? Talk a bit about the parallel, yet the difference between the two.
There's No Such Thing as Zombies was like, actually the idea to There's No Such Thing as Zombies came before Talk of the Dead. And I just wanted to make something really different in terms of zombie movies, because I mean,
right.
Zombies have gone so mainstream with Walking Dead and a whole lot of other movies, you know, and every other indie movie has pretty much the same zombie plot. So I want to make it totally different. So it's like it's really about a zombie who has like remnants of memories in his head, and I think the main memory he has is like his girlfriend before he was killed. Mm-hmm. And so for some reason he finds her apartment, and she welcomes him in and is totally oblivious to the fact that he has been dead, actually, because she's like she's so self-centered. So whatever happened to that guy after she saw him the last time, that doesn't really make any difference. But she's now married to the guy who actually killed the zombie before he was a zombie, of course. Who is a car insurance salesman, and he of course knows that the zombie is a zombie because he killed him. So there's no other explanation for that, of course. But he still tries to sell him a car insurance, so you know, because he's good at his job.
Right. And
so you basically have these three persons in a room, and of course the husband tries to kill the zombie for good, but the woman, the female lead, will have nothing of it, because basically she doesn't want to have bloodstains on her walls because they're impossible to get rid of. So, so that's pretty much the premise, and then we also have on the outside there are two zombie hunters who are totally well, they have no idea what they're doing. Actually, they have never seen zombies and don't believe in zombies, but they still have to go through the neighborhood and ask if anybody has seen zombies or blah blah, you know. So that's like the other side of it.
I gotcha. I get what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, my other question is, of course, because you've got the zombies, and then of course, obviously, Talk of the Dead, and then of course, Impressions Can Kill. Now that is the newest one. Now that's a different departure, right? Meaning that that's not associated with the other two, or is that Is that film connected in some way to these other two? I just want to make a clarification there.
No, absolutely not. No, that's really totally different.
Gotcha. Okay, fine.
Yeah. It again stars Lynn Laurie, but this time she plays an actress who always goes to auditions where for roles she totally doesn't fit in.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular audition she goes in that movie turns a bit violent. Let's say it like that. It's also a very dark comedy, horror comedy. I would call it.
Wow.
But
interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, it's played more for laughs. But of course, we've got some scares and some suspense too.
Oh, of course. I would think so. Now, obviously, of course, you must have. Now, how long ago did you finish Impressions Can Kill? Because obviously you submitted it to me, so I gather this wasn't so long ago that this was completed, was it?
I think we shot it November a year ago.
Okay.
And I think I finished editing sometimes in May or June or something like that.
So I gotcha. Okay.
It's a relatively fresh film, and we're just really starting to submit it to festivals. It already played this year's Fantastic Horror Film Festival, and it played the Misty Moon Film Festival in London, both on the same day for unintended reasons, but it's just played there. So,
wow. Okay.
That was cool, yeah.
In addition to this, just in case you didn't notice that he's a writer, he makes movies. He actually acts now, on top of which he also does reviews, similar to myself, because I do book and film review, and obviously Michael has been doing that for a while now. So I want you to talk a bit about, because most people, meaning outside of yourself and myself, have probably never reviewed something in their life. So from your experience and in the past, when you are approached or you decide that you want to review something, what are some of the main components that you believe comprise an actual well-made film, whether it's horror or not? Because I know you do primarily horror.
I do primarily horror, yes, but
Okay.
I think basically it's a question of originality. So I think if you, to come back to the zombie example, if you want to make a zombie movie, make it like something nobody has ever seen before, because
right.
And also like if you make a slashers, I think the most formulaic of all film genres, you know. So try to put something in that keeps folks interested, because you can, especially in the horror genre, you can always cater to an audience. There is a slasher audience.
Right.
There is a zombie audience who want to be told the same story again. But then you only aim at a very small audience segment. And these movies aren't always good. You know, if you want to appeal to a larger audience, make it as original as you can. That's basically it. And of course, try to get good actors. That's the other.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I've really seen movies really sunk by the actors because they had no clue what they were doing. Okay, here's me talking, who's just shit himself on the movie set, but because he was trying to act for the first time. But
sure.
Yeah, yes.
That's a good question, actually, is I want to ask about this, because oftentimes filmmakers are on two sides of the fence on this. So as a reviewer and a filmmaker both, what would your thoughts be on how crucial or critical? Because oftentimes people say, well, if they don't have any form of recognizable celebrity, it won't go anywhere. Would you subscribe to that same mentality? Is it really that necessary to have some celebrity clout to get a film recognized?
Yes. The answer is, unfortunately, the answer is yes. And unfortunately, because celebrities cost. But there are so many films coming out, so especially in the horror genre. So if you haven't an inbuilt fan base, if you have an inbuilt fan base, then you don't need celebrities. But most of the time you haven't got that. So you need a name that helps sell the movie. Well, attract attention to the movie. That's the main thing. So so as I said, I've done 3 movies with Lynn Laurie. Deborah Lamb is in 2 of my movies, and I've done 1 movie with Lawrence R. Harvey, who was in Human Centipede 2, and we did a cute little horror comedy with him. That one was called The Night Monica Came Back, which I was only asked to write, and I was given free rein, and that was so funny.
Nice. I like those words, free and rein. I have to tell you, that's cool. I don't want to forget to mention this, in case you guys have been listening and wondering, hey, does this guy have any success whatsoever? Because he speaks eloquently and he knows his stuff. But more importantly, he had 1 Best Film nomination to the Night Terrors Film Festival. He's had 5 wins at the Fantastic Horror Film Festival, which we've mentioned before. And that was, of course, primarily for Talk of the Dead, and, of course, now with Impressions Can Kill. I hope to be able to say Art is Alive has given him something because, of course, I'm only one judge. So if you pick just Cindy to say, let's talk about Michael's film, Cindy's all a total fan of Michael H. is rocking. He should win every award. But I'm not the only judge, obviously. You know.
Yeah, obviously.
But the other thing we got to talk about is this. In case you guys are on social media, because we all live on social media in one format or another, you are an admin. So I want you to talk a bit about the groups that you're admins of, meaning do you have room to incorporate more folks, or what are some of the groups that you manage that people should look into becoming a part of? And that's on social media.
On social media, oh my God!
I know, right?
I think one good group I'm in is like the, good God, what is it called? The Film and TV Networking Group or something like that. That's a good one because it really helps, find castings and find crew and stuff and listen to advice from other filmmakers. Look for advice. So that's a very nice one. What other groups am I admin of? I've really
I know that you're a few because I've seen your name pop up when I say, hey, here I am, and then you let me in there. So I'm like, how cool is that? But I just, people that don't know you and they listen, they can stay in touch with you or be in part of a group with you. So I thought you may want to promote some of those and say, hey, come join this group or this group. Besides the blogger thing, because that's obvious.
Yeah. Of course, everybody has to go to the Facebook group, researchmytrash.com. No, Research My Trash film site. It's on Facebook where I basically I just advertise from my website. So another cool one is what's it called? Movie bloggers around the world or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. You're in that.
Yeah, I'm admin in that too. They got really reviews from really around the world, like also heavy India.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They got quite a few lots of Indian reviews. That's nice because
I did not know that. Wow.
These movies are a bit underappreciated, I think, here still.
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I agree, without a doubt. It kind of links all of us, you know what I mean? Because back in the day, you and I would never be able to have, like, an actual radio show where I'm here in Wisconsin in the States and you're all the way in Austria. It's amazing. I had a German person, somebody from Germany the other day listening in. I'm like, isn't it fascinating how technology kind of ties us all together? I mean, I'm not a huge fan of some of it, but if it brings people together in a network, I mean, I'm trying to find a way right now. I know you might be able to help me with this or not, but I'm trying to find a way to see if it's possible to have people to subscribe to a channel where they could actually be a part of my film festival without attending. I think that would be badass.
Oh, that would be badass. Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Then you could be like a panelist and you wouldn't even have to leave. I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but I mean, I'm trying to find out. I'm in the beginning stages of looking into it because my feeling is, how else are these people, if you guys don't get distribution, how are people going to see these films? You know what I mean? I don't want to limit it to just my festival. I want to expand it out where people can actually see. Well, you know what I'm talking about. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
You don't want to have all those gifts and not have them reach anywhere but Austria, because that would suck.
Exactly.
And I nag at him all the time, folks. I'm like, Michael, when am I going to see this guy again? I'm like, I feel like I'm never going to see this guy again. Oh, and before I forget, my other question before I read off all the ways to find you. Every time I post up, and you have been so gracious in posting this appearance on my show today, so thank you for that. Every time I post up that somebody's coming on my show, they've seen your picture. So, of course, if the ladies across the universe, if there are single ladies out there, of course, they want to know the magic question. Is this dynamic guy single? Is he available, and what kind of girl is he looking for? And go.
I'm very available. My God.
That was well put.
What girls I'm looking for? That's someone nice.
Does she have to be a filmmaker or a writer or in the field?
Well, it helps because then we can talk about the same thing.
Right, of course.
Basically, what I really need is a girl with a sense of humor.
Oh, of course, because they have to be able to keep up with you, because you're very quick-witted.
Yeah.
Does she have to be amazingly, breathtakingly beautiful, too?
Well, it doesn't hurt. Let me just put it like that. It doesn't hurt.
That's so cute. Oh, my God, you are too funny. My God. Okay, so my last question to you. God, can you believe it? We have been on air almost an hour and 15 minutes. I say this all the time. Like, can you believe we've been talking this long? It, like, goes just like that, doesn't it? It's wild.
Right. Yeah.
I know, right?
So
here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
On the horizon, because I know Impressions Can Kill is obviously your brand new thing. Are you currently filming right now, or are you casting something right now, or what's on the horizon for the next 6 months to a year? Because we don't want to forget to ask that.
On the horizon, we do have a film project we want to film in and around Las Vegas in I think in August or September, but I can't give away too much of the project yet because I'm not the only one involved. But it will be me. Deborah Lamb will be on it again, and Eddie Bemicki, who's like directed Talk of the Dead, First Impressions Can Kill, There's No Such Thing as Zombies, and There's Pressure to Die For will be involved. So hopefully that will happen. But we're working on that.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I don't have any concrete projects yet because I still have to finish editing There's No Such Thing as Zombies and then edit As Precious to Die For. So I just don't want to fill my head with too many projects. I want to get done what still needs doing, basically, you know. So
got it. No, I understand completely. I do.
But you know, who knows what happens if somebody like comes up with a great proposition. I'm available.
She wouldn't turn it down.
Probably not. No. I mean,
oh my God,
I love doing this
cute.
so much, you know.
Oh, of course, we all do. We all have a passion for our purpose. That goes without saying. Now you're gonna listen, because I'm gonna read off a bunch of places to find you. When I get finished, you can tell me if I missed anything. Okay. Now the person you've been speaking to, or I've been speaking to today, is Michael, and it's say your last name, Haberfelner.
Haberfelner.
Got it right?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm going to spell it for you guys. It's Haberfelner, just in case you guys want to Google him, and his first name again is Michael. These are all the ways to find him, and here we go. He is on Amazon, Goodreads, Vimeo, Google+, obviously Barnes & Noble, we referenced before, the Facebook groups that he was talking about in which he's an admin, YouTube, searchmytrash.com. His book is on lulu.com. He has a Facebook personal page. He is on IMDb. Also, the Facebook pages for the films are as follows. We have A Killer Conversation. We have There's No Such Thing as Zombies. And we have First Impressions Can Kill. Any other place where people can find you?
There's also a Facebook page for The Night Monica Came Back, which is also a movie I did. Yeah.
Got it.
Other than that, I think have you mentioned Twitter? I'm also on Twitter.
I have that written down. Boy, it's a good thing you're on here. As a matter of fact, it's Twitter, which is at Search My Trash. That's his Twitter handle.
Exactly.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Now, you're not on Instagram, is that right?
I'm not on Instagram. No, I still have to look into this someday. But
no, that's okay. I understand.
Didn't find yet the time to check out every service yet.
Okay. So this is what I want to say in conclusion. Just two more things. First of all, just to remind you of this, about 2 hours after this show is done, because we do it live, it becomes archived. I will send a copy to you that you can post, and folks, you can pass it on. Within 2 hours, I'll send you the link from Blog Talk Radio, which is the format we're on right now, and then I upload it to YouTube on my YouTube channel. So I'll send you both links so that you have that, and then this way it's archived for all of time, so you'll be on here. And the last thing I get to do before I let you go is I get to tell you what I think of you, because everybody that comes on this show, I get to tell them what I think of them, because it's the only part I don't write of my show. It's not scripted. There's no research involved. It's just from me to you and the listening audience as to what I think of my sport. And then I'll let you enjoy your day, and I have to go and fix my car and shop and do 50,000 things. And I specifically picked Michael to be my last show before I went on hiatus for almost 3 weeks. So you're my very last show before Christmas. I was excited about that.
Awesome, yeah.
You're my last one, and because I need a break. I have some health issues. I have a car issue. I have shopping I got to do. There's a whole lot going on. So let me tell you what I think of you. So, folks, listen in. This is what I think of dear Michael. The very first time that I met him, he was so gracious and giving of not only his attention and admiration, but he was just a very, very gentle soul. He came across as being very sweet, very nice, very attentive. I love the fact that he was so heavily involved in the festival by which he was appearing in. And I don't just say that about everybody, because oftentimes we work the film festival circuit and you show up and you meet other filmmakers and you network with other writers and such, but he is an all-in, hands-on, 120% person when it comes to supporting his friends, when it comes to supporting filmmakers. The art of film is not lost internationally, and he is one of my beacons of hope in that regard, meaning that he's an Austrian filmmaker, and I get very little opportunities to have international filmmakers on my show. So first of all, I was excited to expose my audience to more of an international following. Second of all, what I like and admire about him so much is that he's just so non-serious, meaning oftentimes in our industry, people take themselves so very seriously, but you have a great wit about yourself. You don't have an ego. Everything that you do is a passion project. You're interesting. You're intelligent. You're sweet. He is very hands-on when it comes to production from start to finish. He's not somebody who just writes a project, throws it to somebody and says, now make it. He wants to be integral. He wants to be hands-on, 150% on that. I love people that are all in with everything that they do. And not only are you all in, but you're all in from a successful standpoint, meaning you put all of yourself in and you don't take yourself out when the project's done. You're still marketing, you're still promoting, you're still writing about it. You're taking your time and talents to help to promote the art of other people, which I'm always hugely respectful for. But most importantly, what I like the most about it is that I can reach out to him anytime. He's always willing to help. He's always willing to listen, and he's always willing to expand his knowledge to somebody like myself and other people he knows. One of the coolest things about knowing you is that I get to know every part of you as a person and as a professional, and I am god-awful grateful for that. I thank you for the time that you gave me on the show. Thank you for investing your time and your art in my festival and in me. I hope you know you can come back on my show anytime you want, and I swear to God I'm going to beg you to come to New York so you can come and be part of my panel. I would love that.
It would be awesome. I really have to see my schedule until then. But
no, I know you're hard to get a hold of.
Chances are that I will be in the USA by the time. So you know, if I am,
and we'll keep talking. You're not going anywhere. It's not like we have to
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
That's good.
So, yeah, I mean, let's just hope.
We'll play it by ear, see how things go.
I would be totally excited about that, of course.
That would be wonderful. It would. And please, I meant it. Come back anytime. Tell filmmaker friends of yours from the international area that I'd love to host them on the show. I hope that you were happy with today.
Totally.
And certainly, Thank you. Give me a couple hours. I'll get it sent off to you so you can post everything up. Obviously, I'll keep you posted about the festival. And the last thing is just have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Your Christmas card is coming after the holidays because I didn't have time. But enjoy your holidays.
No worries.
Have a great New Year. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a joy.
Likewise, of course, you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, all right, you go and have a wonderful afternoon. I'm going to wrap up my show, and I'm going to go fix my car. Otherwise, nobody will have Christmas over here. But, yeah, I'll be in touch. Right. You have a great day, my dear.
Right. Yeah, you too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye. Have a good day, dear.
Yeah, likewise.
Tell me he isn't fabulous, right? The Michael Haberfelner. I can't believe I just said that right. And again, it's Michael, Haberfelner. Again, he is on Amazon, Goodreads, Vimeo, Google+, Barnes & Noble. His Twitter handle is @SearchMyTrash. Go ahead and check out him for the Facebook groups he was adminning and talking about. YouTube. His actual site for his interviews are searchmytrash.com. His book is available on lulu.com. And he is on IMDb. He has a personal Facebook page, along with, of course, a killer conversation. There's no such thing as zombies. First impressions can kill. So please make it a point to support his endeavors. I can't thank him enough for taking the time. Michael, you are truly a treasure. Obviously, of course, that wraps up my final show. Just a couple quick notes on top of reminding everybody, go off and buy one, if not all of those things that I listed before. As I end up my year, since you won't get a chance to talk to me again unless you're on social media or otherwise, I just want to say, and I say it all the time, I hopefully say it enough, thank you to every single person who either promotes the show, comes on my show, talks about my show, invests in my show through Patreon, has an opportunity to talk about it, puts a blurb out about it, who listens, anybody, anytime who has ever supported me this last year. I would not have a show without you. So I thank you so much for your support. I thank you for your attention. I thank you for listening. I thank you for being on the show. You are what makes of 63,400 people, and I would be lost without you. So I just want to say have an absolutely wonderful time for the holiday season. Have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your new year. I am looking for bigger and brighter things this year and expanding the show, and I will keep you all posted on that. Again, thanks so much for everything you do all year round. You guys have a great holiday, and I'll talk to you on January 9th. Take care.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers. Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers. Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Offers require port and of number not currently active on T-Mobile network. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 40p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.